So I'd like to go over this game where I beat this guy's ass really, really hard. I mean, so dang hard. First thing I do, obviously, I pop my guys in one side, pop them out the other, make them go get granary. And what I do is I do a 7-2-6 build. So here I pop out 7 foods. Then you'll see next thing I do, I look for what wood is the best kind of closest to home. Kind of pick this spot right here. I send 2 guys. Then the next guy, rather than making him go to mine, I start the wall, the artificial wall, which is very, very crucial, and I think determines whether who's a winner and who's a loser. If you do not build this artificial wall, you don't deserve the win. I'm just saying, in my opinion. So here you see I even angle them so that I can make them go from corner to corner, toe to toe, and that's how you get the greatest amount of distance. You've got to rotate the wheel of the mouse a little bit. So now that I've got, sticks, I obviously... Okay, let me slow down for a second. What just happened? While I was getting 6 gold, guys, as soon as I had enough gold to make the temple, I made the temple. At the same time, I was researching pickaxe when I got to 120 wood. I should now have 120 extra wood, but I used it. So if you click, I have the pickaxe right now. It's only 3 minutes and 59 seconds. It's less than 4 minutes I have the pickaxe. Another thing is, I sent a guy, and my goal is going to be to get 3 monuments this entire game. So I should be sending all my surplus guys to food, but I put 1 extra on gold just for kicks this game, but it really doesn't matter. So now I've got everybody here at this food spot, and I had found that food spot because I was bringing my priests in a baseball diamond field pattern around my... So yada yada. I got enough food and gold to make the other monument. So I'm making the other monument. This comes after I advance. So before I advance, usually. And then the 3rd monument is going to come after I advance, but before the 3rd age. And I don't ever really need to get to the 3rd age, because immediately after that, once I get enough food, which is going to cost 250, enough food for the gold upgrade, which is going to cost 150, then I start making everybody go to gold. I mean wood, because wood is my main resource right now. I need it the most. So here's my first intrusion. It's a Valkyrie. I know it's going to come harass my gold guys because they're out of range of the TC. So then boom, I start turning around, I start shanking him. I take the guy who he's working on, and I make him move away. That's General Micro. Okay, then I keep making them guys go. He knows that now his decision is to... Or no, he didn't even... I think that he did move the Valkyrie away, but then he saw that I put my villager back to gold gathering, so he came in and started attacking me again. I recognized that, and I reacted to that by sending everybody on him. And I'm going to react another way by sending that 1 villager, making him move away, and I successfully got him out of there, because he would have died if he would have continued. Alive. So now, another move. Here I had to move really fast too, because he just used forest fire. So what happens now is I'm going to lose everything that's in the range of this whole entire forest. That means I'm going to lose this house. I'm going to start to take damage around here, and I'm going to lose this lumber camp. So I know immediately I've got to bring all these guys to new lumber camp. But I have a mix of gold and lumber guys here, and that sucks, because if I bring them all to the lumber camp, what's going to happen is they're going to lose all that gold. So what I do instead is I make them go past through the TC, then go to lumber. Watch. First they kind of like shank him. They do their best to make him take as much damage as they can. Oh, I could have turned around him and hit him some more, but of course you can't react to everything in this game. So then he decides that he's going to come see what's over here, and then, like I said, I drop off all these resources, and then I'm going to immediately pop out, spend as little time as I can inside the TC. Pause and come back around here to see where's that Valkyrie at, and I can't see it anymore, so it's out of my line. Okay, that's right there. So then I got an extra priest there who's not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to be able to empower the lumber camp, so he's going to be idle for just a sec. Come over here and you see what the forest fire's done. It took out most of my houses. It made me it took out most of my lumber area. Made me exposed here. It's going to finish its way over there. Wadget's still chilling. I've got very little gold going on. I'm starting to take damage here. Okay. This is general mild panic. This is, like very, very mild panic. Because I've got to start throwing up barracks immediately. This is weak zone, weakness right now. He could be pursuing me. He's an 1800 player. I don't know why he's not. Maybe it's because he's afraid of arrow fire, but I think he could be pursuing me right now. But he knows that I'm going to turn around and start shanking him, so maybe that's why he's not. So maybe I have my reasoning why I'm surviving right now, but I'm open from a couple ends, and that gives me some anxiety. Like, I'm feeling like my wood guys are going to get hit. Right now, stop. I have to realize that I have 556 wood, because that means 556 food. I means I have to spend that 556 food on the wood and gold upgrades. And I'm going to do that in just a sec. I need 250 wood for the 280, and I should be clicking in my head. I can get those 2 upgrades now. In 2 seconds, I'm going to get them. And we look at my labor. I actually already got the shaft mine, so this wood is post shaft mine. So this is all going for military right now. So as you can see, I'm making barracks. My Pharaoh not empowering the barracks is a little mistake, but I'm going to catch it in a second. I started building my Wadgets. My Wadget is my main enemy, my main artillery, because that's why I'm building so many monuments for in the classical age. By 7 minutes, here we go. I got 1 barrack, 2 barrack. This is not my main point. My main point is going to be the 10-minute mark. So I'll have like a lot of slingers by the 10-minute mark. Okay, so right now we're going to play a little fast. I'm going boom in a zigzag pattern to minimize the amount of idle time, to minimize the amount of rearrangement time while they're gathering around the building, and then boom, I'm gonna go straight to an armory. All right, here's the second attack, the second intrusion. He's bringing 4 cavalry, and he knows that I have a couple priests. So he's just a cavalry guy in general, so he's gonna start making that. I'm making slingers, and cavalry are good against slingers. So why am I not changing? Because I am going to get an archer ball, and the archer ball is supreme. It's like a Nidhogg, dude. Has anyone compared to archer ball to a Nidhogg? That's what it is, basically, except it takes a little damage. So I don't know what happened over there, that little clicky, but right now this is my woo woo, because I'm pumping up. I've got my 3 Wadgets. My Wadgets are gonna keep coming. As a couple slingers die, they're gonna be replaced with a Wadget, so my army will start thinning out with slingers and start thickening up with Wadgets. Wadgets, of course, being, you know, 3 and 2. I'm also going to be working on, as soon as I'm able to afford while I'm producing military, the armory upgrades, I will get the armory upgrades, and that will be happening soon. Here we go. I have, since I can afford, I'm not really like using food that much, so I send my food guys to make the 3rd monument, and that's happening. So here goes my nice little soup. I love this little slinger Wadget soup. Wadgets. What sound does a Wadget make? Skeet skeet. In a minute, I'm gonna gather all my idols and I'm gonna start pushing forward. But I know that there's gonna be a chance that I get attacked while I'm pushing forward with my army. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to shift in sands, because shifting sands will pull my units that are in trouble towards my army, so that they are with my army and both able to do damage with my army and not in trouble anymore. That'll give me a little bit more reaction time. My gold villagers, very, very tucked in. They got a very short distance to walk. Got a lot of reaction time. I don't want to generally make it that long in a match where I have to start using the next gold mine. It's always inevitable. But I want to make sure that I've neutralized his army before that point. Okay, here is the 3rd intrusion. I have to interrupt this. If I don't interrupt this, I'm going to lose it, because he has way better units than me. At this point, he has army upgrades, so if I'm not shanking and if I'm not doing chip damage, I'm not winning. I'm definitely not winning. Like, these are the moments that make me win. This little chip damage. That I just interrupted his army because I just made that effort to go there. Now, I both have a position on him, and I kind of know that he's in my base-ish area, and here he is. So I'm gonna keep an eye, close an eye on the area. You better believe that live, I'm keeping an eye here. I'm gonna take those villagers, I'm gonna make them turn around, and I'm gonna make them whack, because you have to. And then plus the range, that's the perfect equation to win against this type of player. This is the only way you can make it, is if you form this equation. So like, he's disappearing. It's not uncommon. I'm gonna play a little fast so you can see that he comes over here, shanking with enough time for. See, he didn't react immediately to my villagers, but I know that he's looking for that. That's exactly what he's looking for. That's the least damaging scenario to him, is villagers and a group of 8 with a pharaoh. Uh, Far away from my main army, but see, he turned around there because he was like, dope! He was like, dope! But he didn't get it. So here I am, I'm going to pursue that way. It's like at the little end of my home. I love it. It's like a little door in my house. Why? Again, because I have such a beautiful line of houses. There wouldn't be any of that sensation without that line of houses. So here we go, play fast. I'm starting to pursue. Bam! What did I do? I just found him, and now I'm the intrusion. I'm gonna start throwing units away thinking that I can win this fight, okay? Because I'm thinking, like, since I've got my upgrades, that I'm gonna win, but he's got his upgrades too. So watch what happens, okay? He actually kind of neutralizes me a little bit. I bring my villagers here for I don't know, but then I realize that they're right here and not doing anything. I start making whack. My main army's here, and it's threatening, and it's making him run away. And that is so important, because that is shift damage, making him threatened running away. See, he's taking damage there. He's basically dying. And now, in his head, he's knowing that he basically made a false move. This happens in your head. You're like, I messed up, and now I'm already going to lose. You go, I messed up, and I'm already going to lose. And that feeling, that sensation amplifies more and more until you're like, I messed up so hard, and I know I already lost this match. So you just resign, or you say GG. A good person says GG. A bad person just leaves, or worse, a bad person just says coward and throws all this immature stuff, because they think that they really are losing their manhood on that loss, and it's very normal. So I don't know what he does here, but he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna sneak a little bit more gold. And I'm like, no, you're not. I can hit you. At this point, I'm winning because I'm using villagers where he isn't. I'm using villagers for their bonus damage against buildings, and he's not using his villagers for bonus damage against me. I'm taking out very crucial buildings like his temple. He has some relics here. That's another punishment. And then, of course, just another more bit of units. At this point, I only have 15 here at home, 17 there at home. I only have 33 villagers, and I don't mind another fight. Here's like the biggest close I have to losing is this fight right here. I basically kind of get stuck in his buildings, and I don't recognize that my villagers are a good point to be winning here, and I let them be on the armory, like the least important building. But eventually I realized that it's time to make them come over here, and my slingers make the best of their ability to auto-target enemy units over buildings, and I basically win it here. No coming back, because you see he's got this little clump at the end of throwing axemen, but I'm gonna wipe that up soon. At this point I realized, okay, I've got to get back into the villager production mode. I'm basically, from this point on, he's gonna resign in a second. Well, no, he's not. But I have to bring these villagers back to food. Increase my health, my overall population, and villagers. This takeaway from the overall point of that was great, but I have to slowly become kingdom again, and I'm not going to become kingdom unless I do that. Because here we go, I have 2,400 gold, but I have absolutely nothing of anything else. It's like I'm surviving off my army right now, and off the psychological effect of my army. I'm surviving off that, and I am, because it's huge, that effect. So I've got like still a whole bunch, 29, 31. It's all ranged. It's all a Nidhogg and a half. It's like, he knows that I'm going house to house to house to house. His population right now is, it's fine. His pop's fine. His pop's fine. I mean, his max pop's fine, but his pop is horrible. He's at 53, and I don't know that. I think his pop's somewhere around like 80 or 90. But you always play to the benefit of the ideal goal is to play to the benefit of yourself, but you also always accidentally play to the benefit of your opponent mentally, and you say, oh, he probably has more than he does. I've lost so many games because I've said to myself, I'm going to resign, he probably has more than he does, and I look after I resign and I see I have equal or better value of units. It's a little bit frustrating. Score also has a big impact on the psychological aspect. So there we go, man. Thank you very much for watching as I Finally come across this main bit of wood gatherers, gold gatherers, and the game ends. That's how I beat this 1800 player. I want to look at this map here. Alright, obviously, you know, every time there's a sharp downward on both teams, that's when a war happened. And this graph, it is the epitome of just said victory, because I shoot up in military right around the same time he does, but I shoot up more sharply. Let's look at civs. At some point I stopped climbing on purpose. But this military graph, when I had, you know, the end of the match, he had nothing. This right here, at this point, is the point that obviously I have to fear. This is such a dynamic triangle. Many different scenarios can happen in which, depending on how it is going to depend on how the rest of this area looks, because while I'm I need everything to go smooth for this bit of time, for this to really shoot up. That could really make me lose. So it's hard to say who's a good player in this game, obviously, and I would it's so scary. And for him, it's an emotion of like so much, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. It's so cool.